This is the Anycubic Kobra X, the first multicolour 3D printer that I've ever tried that prints with not just one, but 19 different coloured filaments in a single print, and it can print different materials at the same time. But that's not even the coolest thing about it. The price is so affordable that I couldn't actually quite believe how much tech you get for how little this costs. So today we're going to run some standard tests, of course, but also print some more complex designs incorporating different colours and different materials to see just how well it manages. But let's be real here for a second. 3D printing is a technology that is changing so fast I can barely keep up. They're always releasing new stuff, but just a few years ago it was considered witchcraft to be able to conjure from thin air little plastic boats or dragons to sell them on Facebook Marketplace. But now I literally have a prototyping factory at the palm of my hand that can print out full colour prints with a single button. Now, I've stuck with older single colour printers for a while, and that's largely because I've been sceptical and hesitant to make the change. I'm not a 3D printing expert by any means, and for me, I just want ease of use when I use one. Whenever I've tried multicolour prints with a single filament printer, I've always ended up with subpar prints, bad adhesion between layers, and just overall it's been a bit of a faff. The Cobra X would appear to take away almost all of that stress of the process and seamlessly switches the colours through the prints by itself with next to no delay, and the way it does this is quite clever. Now, once it goes to change colour, it'll cut the filament, move over to the side, scrape the old filament off, and then, providing the setting is on when you slice your model, you can get it to add a layer on what's called a prime tower, which is a secondary print on the same plate of your main print to expel any remaining colour of the previous filament whilst drawing through the new filament, at which it then resumes the print. Now, as it's my first multicolour printer, I don't have anything to compare this system to from a multicolour print perspective, but supposedly the marketing that Anycubic have, this system has been very much optimised to reduce wastage by bringing the cutter closer to the nozzle in the tool head and reducing things like the retracting distance. Perhaps one of you guys might have a little more experience than me with multi-filament prints, so let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the changes and if they make a difference. But it also changes filaments remarkably fast due to how the workhead or the tool head is made up. Whereas quite a few require units to feed the filament into the head, on the Cobra 10 the gears actually have internal movement to pull whichever filament it needs through the nozzle from the tubes and from the filament that's mounted directly on top, which is why the colour change is so quick. Now, interestingly, it's got a few little features here with the changing of filaments, such as the ability to detect when a filament has run out, and you can set it then to move on to the next filament, which means essentially you can use 4 of the same colour on the machine and print really large, dense models without having to change filament. Although I can't think of what model other than a pure solid square cube would use 4 rolls of filament. But when it does run out, it'll actually feed the last little bit of the filament, the old filament, back out of the head at the top here for you to remove manually rather than it getting stuck after pushing it through the nozzle. Honestly, this is a tiny bit of engineering that removes a hell of a lot of headaches that I know people have had with multicolour printers in the past, and one of the reasons why I've never gone to one. But on the subject of 4 filaments, before we move on to the print quality, I mentioned at the start that it's capable of working with 19 at once, but this isn't the standard. As it comes, it's only got the 4 hangers above the device itself, but you're able to get hold of Anycubic's ACE Pro 2, which dries filaments but also allows you to feed the 4 filaments that it's drying inside it directly into the Cobra X. But I've not got this tested, so I can't really comment on how well this works, but it means you can expand it up to 19 colours, printing out of this one tool head, which is insane. Now, speaking of prints, I've got to say that it's performed as well as I'd hoped, and in some cases better. Obviously the first thing that I had to print was a benchy boat, because we all know that there's that voodoo curse that if you don't print a benchy first, the boogeyman will come out and flay the skin off your bones with a 3D printed knife. It's common knowledge by now. But this was absolutely no problem for this printer at all, with no changes to the settings straight out of the box. I couldn't have been more impressed, to be honest. Stick it in fast mode again, the quality was pretty much identical, and that kind of surprised me there, because I assumed the fast mode might not do quite as well, but it was great. So once the curse had been lifted, I printed a small vase in vase mode, which is a single line of filament, and it didn't falter at that at all. But then naturally we needed to move on to bigger things. First printing my own benchmark, the STU'S Caesar, which was pretty much perfect. Like all printers, it struggled slightly with the underside of my beard, but I've yet to find a printer on base settings that can do that first time without slight mishap. Although I'm starting to think that maybe that could be a problem with my janky 3D modelling. Even still, supports were perfect and they broke away with very little sign that they'd ever been there. We thought we'd then try a few prints that required assembly to test its consistency across multiple prints and multiple pieces, starting with a screw and thread, and it worked like an absolute charm and absolutely no defects on the thread. But then we thought we'd move on to something even bigger. A 4-part piece making a chalice, which I think you'll agree looks like a cup fit for the King of Kings. That is lovely, lovely wine. Ultimately, it handled every single colour print like it was a champ. So then we moved on to multicolour prints. So I thought I'd give something very difficult a go, a Pokeball. Now, we used Anycubic's own maker online to find a model directly within the slicer, which does somewhat look similar to Bamboo Labs' Maker World. In fact, whilst we're here on that subject, there is a slight elephant in the room, and that's that the Cobra X does look somewhat a bit like the Bamboo A1, and by all accounts has similar features. But although I've not tried the Bamboo A1, what I can say, having a look, is that the Cobra X is significantly cheaper. But anyway, the model that we found on Maker Online was already coloured red, white and black, like the traditional Pokeball. But the filament I had installed for my earlier test didn't match this. I've got gold, black, silvers and beiges. But thankfully, Anycubic have built some extremely robust software to go with the printer that makes painting and translating colours from the filament that you've got installed to the device or the product that you're printing. You can either map colours, so basically telling the software to treat red as gold and white as silver, or there's a manual painting tool with brushes and fill options available. The fill option was the easiest because it lets you essentially pick a filament and then automatically colour the entire face that you're selecting with that colour. Basically paint by numbers. It genuinely could not have been easier, and I must admit that my apprehension of dealing with multiple colours was massively misplaced, and I can't believe how easy Anycubic have actually made it. But once you've navigated the software and picked your print settings as you would normally, you can go ahead and hit that print button and off it goes. You then get a status within the software, but you also get print status on the onboard screen over here, which is a really nice touch. It's got a full colour display that also aids with installing the filament of different colours, showing them live on the screen as you install them. And you can also scan through the NFC here, which gives a tag and kind of automatically popularizes this when you've fed them through, which is quite clever. Also a nice touch is that there's a little LED screen above the nozzle as well, which shows the filament spool it's currently using. So if there are any issues, you can quickly work out which spool is the one that's having the problem. Now, there is actually another status screen and that's on your phone. And this is perhaps one of the coolest points of the software because it pairs super well with iPhone. Now, whilst the print is running, you actually get the live activity directly on your lock screen, so you can see its status and progress and how long it has left. This is a fantastic little functionality, and although I'm sure other brands might have this, it's the first time that I've seen it on a 3D printer, so a little clap there from me for that one. But if you click on the live activity on your phone, it quickly opens the app where you can even view the camera remotely to check on the print, which isn't the highest quality camera, but it is more than enough to see what's going on and has a light on it to help light up the build plate if you've got the printer in the dark. I do have one criticism here though, is that the camera, I kind of wish the angle was a bit higher. It's quite low on the build plate, so sometimes it's difficult to see the progress and to check how it all looks, especially if the prints remain low to the actual build plate. I think a higher angle or a higher up camera might have been a little bit better. But then on the flip side, it does have one feature that's quite appealing. And that's a little camera cover on the side. So when you don't want to use it, you can switch that across and it blocks the camera, which will tickle the pickle of all those worrying about being spied on by Sandeep over in India trying to see you in your birthday suit. Sorry, Sandeep, you'll have to pay for that privilege, just like everyone else. Anyway, back to the Pokeball. This was a great test because printing spheres are notoriously difficult, made even more difficult by the small overhangs of the Pokeball and detailed sections. But the Cobra X did a bloody smashing job with that colour separation between the top, middle, bottom sections. In fact, I think a Pokeball might actually be one of the toughest things that you could possibly try printing with a 3D printer. Maybe that should be my new benchmark moving forwards. But saying that, this particular print only used 3 different colours, but not different materials. So the last thing I want to show you is this. A clothes peg. Because this clothes peg is a print that used both different colours of PLA and TPU. This was completely printed in place, and you can see the outer layers of varying PLA colours, but the inside has a black segment of TPU which flexes when you squeeze it together. I'll put it on my ear. Like that. Honestly, I couldn't quite believe how well this worked. It really did an incredible job at printing multicolour and multifilament within the same print. It might be a very small example of where this multi-material printing is useful. It might be a very small print overall, but this is not a throwaway feature. I cannot even begin to express how amazing this is. I mean, just look at it. I manufactured this from my own garage. This is just magical, especially for the price. Now, this is the bit that immediately got me. When this sort of technology came out, it cost an arm and a leg to buy, and I wasn't sure on the reliability of multicolour printing, so it just seemed to me like it wasn't worth it. Fast forward to now, and I cannot believe the price, because this thing, all in, costs just £259. Now, there is a slight asterisk here, and that's that when I was writing this episode, it was on slight discount, so make sure you check the link in the description or scan the QR code there, because it might just be an introductory price, given that this is relatively new. But even so, £259 for this, your own full colour prototyping factory that prints fast, accurately, and is super easy to use is unreal levels of value. What this super cheap price means for the longevity of this device, I have no idea. I mean, this is the first time that I've used an Anycubic device. And we've put so far over 200 hours of printing already, and it's been 200 hours of problem-free experience. Hopefully in the coming months, you'll see more content from others who perhaps have used this even more extensively for much longer periods. So if you're looking for that long-term usage feedback, check back soon. But from my experience so far, I haven't really got anything to quibble about it. And in fact, it's done nothing but delight me. Like I said early on in this episode, I'm not a 3D printing expert, so I wanted to come at this from an ease of use perspective. Could anyone just grab this and get going with minimal faff? The answer to that has been a resounding yes. It's beginner value, beginner ease of use, but gives you some professional level results. Quite simply, the value is through the roof with this thing. And it might just be the best value 3D printer that you can buy right now.